Learn to light a candle in the darkest moments of someone's life. Be the light that helps others see. It is what gives life its deepest significance. That's a quote by Roy T. Bennett. Each of you are here today because you and your loved one chose to light a candle, to be the light and help others see, and to reimagine what life holds. My name is Kyle Herber, and I am the president and CEO of Live On Nebraska. Over the years, I've had the amazing privilege of seeing so many donor families provide light to others, and you are no different. Our donor heroes save lives, provide hope, and remind us that there is light to help others. Today, I'd like to share with you a little more about how our donors are changing lives every day. And let's start with some facts. In 2022 and 2023, organ donors in Nebraska, your loved ones, made 639 life-saving organ transplants possible. Last year also marked a milestone as our 2,000th organ donor hero gave the gift of life. In addition to organ donation, more than 1,000 heroes have helped others heal through the gift of tissue donation. How about a round of applause for those? One recipient described their tissue transplant as a priceless gift that I am grateful for beyond words and will treasure as long as I breathe. Tissue transplants restore quality of life for millions of people each year. Skin grafts save burn victims and help women recovering from breast cancer regain their sense of self. Donated corneas restore sight to the visually impaired. Bone grafts are used in spinal surgery and can help prevent amputation in patients with traumatic fractures and cancer diagnoses. This list goes on and on and on. I would like to extend a thank you to our staff at Live On Nebraska for being part of these stories. It is an absolute honor every day to walk alongside you and make donation possible. How about a round of applause for the Live On Nebraska staff? Donation is more than just numbers and statistics, though. Our heroes provide hope every day. I'd like to share with you a few quotes from those who have been saved and healed through organ and tissue donation. I get more time as a wife, mom, grandmother, friend, and advocate. I think my transplant made me realize the meaning of living a full life. I'm still me, but I wake up grateful each morning now. My donor helped me heal emotionally. My donor helped me feel whole. My donor helped me really begin thriving. These are just a few examples of the life-changing decision you and your loved ones have made to make a difference in the lives of others. Before I turn it over to our guest speakers, I want to remind you of the light your loved ones have created. Our heroes are the light that remind us there is hope. In many cultures, light is seen as a way to illuminate what is in front of us, to lead the way, or to symbolize truth or wisdom. Our donors provide just that by their heroic act to donate organs and tissues to those in need. They have shown us goodness in their actions. They lead by example. And they have given us a gift to hold on to their legacy in the greatest way. Our donor heroes save lives, provide hope, and remind us that there is light to help others. Whether your donor hero physically helped someone see all the colors of nature or their loved ones' faces, healed them and allowed them to walk or play sports again, or if they have lit a fire within you to keep their memory alive, we want to thank each and every one of you sitting among us today for continuing to spread the light your loved one created through organ, tissue, and eye donation. We are humbled by your generosity and your strength. Now I would like to introduce Erin Sandler. Erin traveled all the way from Maine to be with us today and share how a tissue transplant from a donor right here in Nebraska restored her way of life and allows her to give back to her community. Please help me in welcoming Erin.
Hi, it's an absolute honor and pleasure to be here today. I want to take you a few minutes and tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Maine. Maine is what I know. Nebraska, I had never been to Nebraska. This is my first trip. I spent my childhood in the town of Windham, which was located near Sebago Lake. My mom was a teacher, so we spent a lot of time at the lake in the summer. We got to swim, we got to be outside. And I loved sports, participating in track and field hockey. After college, I got a job as a cardiovascular tech in the operating room in open heart surgery. And I had the opportunity to see some organ harvests. And I started to understand the importance of organ donation at that point. During this time, I was also working part-time as a security officer at a college I had gone to, and I had the opportunity to take an EMT class. And when I took that EMT class, I realized that that was what I wanted to do. I immediately enrolled in paramedic school, and shortly after, got trained as a firefighter. That was 20 years ago. In January of this year, marked 20 years as a career firefighter paramedic for the town of Scarborough, Maine. Thank you. Anyone that works as a firefighter or knows a firefighter understands that it's not only a job, it's a lifestyle. It's who we are. And the people you work with become an extension of your family. You eat meals together, you spend holidays together, and you're with each other through some of the highest highs and the lowest lows. In June 20th, 2021, I injured my knee doing the YMCA. Yeah, that's right. You know, YMCA. The YMCA, I blew out my knee, okay? I was trying to embarrass a kid half my age. Obviously did not go very well. I didn't want to miss work at first because I love my job. And so I opted to do PT to try to strengthen my knee, and I continued working. But in October of 2021, my knee had taken enough, and I was told I was going to need ACL reconstruction. I was also told that due to my age, which was only 45, I was too old to use my own parts, so I would be receiving a donor graft. This was something that I had never really thought of. I'm listed as an organ donor, but never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would become a recipient. When I found out I would be getting someone else's tissue, it had me asking so many questions. Who were they? How old were they? Were they active? What happened to them? How did they die? All these things just went through my head. On the day of my surgery, while in the pre-op room, I was given a website and a serial number for the tissue I was receiving. It gave me instructions on writing a thank you note to the donor's family. A couple days after surgery, I did that. I filled out the form and sent that, never expecting to get a response. I wanted to just be able to say thank you. Several months later, I came home from work, and there was an envelope addressed to me from Nebraska Lives On my counter. I figured it was maybe some sort of an advertisement. I didn't know what it was. I opened the envelope to find a beautiful 2-page letter written from my donor's mom, Donna. I was in tears reading the letter. It was so incredible. She also sent a picture of Ryan. Ryan was my donor. She shared so much about him. He sounds like he was an amazing person. It was so awesome to now have a name and a face. I feel so incredibly grateful to have been a recipient of Ryan's selfless gift. While this story alone is incredible, there's more. Donna told me about Ryan. He was 40 years old when he passed away tragically. He was a son, a brother, a husband, a father, and a friend to so many. Donna said he had the largest smile one can imagine. When he was younger, he enjoyed acting, and he even thought about being a professional dancer. Reading that part of the letter definitely made me laugh, knowing how I actually injured my knee. Hopefully I can do him justice now. Ryan fell in love with a local girl and became a plumber. He owned his own plumbing business. He had 2 young sons. He loved the outdoors and loved being active, including mountain climbing, rafting, kayaking, and skiing. Ryan had his own business, Lincoln Plumbing. He was working at a veterinary office, and the ceiling collapsed on Ryan. I learned that Ryan went into cardiac arrest and was resuscitated and lived for a few days after his accident, but unfortunately succumbed to his injuries. As I stood in the kitchen reading this letter, tears streamed down my face, and I literally had chills. I finally had answers to all of my questions about my tissue donor, but that wasn't the only reason. My brother Matt was almost 40 years old when he died in a tragic accident in 2020. He was not at work, but he sustained injuries very similar to Ryan's. My brother married his high school sweetheart and became a plumber. He owned his own plumbing business. He had a son the same age of one of Ryan's boys. Like Ryan, my brother also went into cardiac arrest, but was resuscitated and lived for a few days after his accident before succumbing to his injuries. My brother absolutely loved the outdoors and loved Maine and the adventures, skiing, snowmobiling, boating. I don't know what I believe, but I honestly feel that Ryan was sent to me for a reason. Not only did Ryan's selfless gift allow me to return to the job that is so incredibly important to me, learning about Ryan and now getting the opportunity to meet Donna in person this weekend has been absolutely life-changing. Since receiving Donna's initial letter, we've stayed in touch. I provide her updates on things that Ryan does. To name a few, he's responded to hundreds of fire and EMS calls. He's gone rock climbing, kayaking, surfing, and he is now rescuing and rehabilitating seals through Marine Mammals of Maine. For the 3 years following my brother's death, I participate in an event in Maine called the Cross for Life Flight. This event raises money for Life Flight of Maine, our only air medical transport. Matt was flown 110 miles from Jackman to Bangor the day of his accident. So during the event, I bike 110 miles per week to honor the flight he took that day. 2 of these years were after my knee surgery, so Ryan has helped me bike almost 1,000 miles. I have always carried Matt's picture with me. This year, I also carried Ryan's picture when I did my ride. This last fall, I also did a virtual 5K in memory of Ryan to benefit Nebraska Lives On, Rally for Life in memory of Ryan. I sent Donna some photos from that event. While my career has made me recognize the importance of organ donation and an immense appreciation for those that decided to donate organs or tissue, I never could have imagined how incredibly life-changing this experience has been. I'll be forever grateful for the selfless gift that Ryan gave to me, and I don't take a day for granted. I truly feel like I have 2 amazing guardian angels that keep me safe. I had this keychain made. Donna doesn't even know about this. This is kept in my fire coat. I clip it on the inside pocket of my fire coat. And on one side is Ryan with his 2 boys. And on the other side is my brother Matt and his son Sawyer. So those guys are with me all the time as my guardian angels. I want to end with a quote I found by Alina Munoz, a mother whose son was a transplant recipient. Without the organ donor, there is no story, no hope, no transplant. But when there is an organ donor, life springs from death, sorrow turns to hope, and terrible loss becomes a gift. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, that was an incredible story. Thank you, Erin. So our next speaker is a beloved physician from Norfolk who has helped deliver thousands, probably closer to tens of thousands of babies. But in 2021, he went from helping bring life into the world to receive the gift of life. Here to share his story is Dr. Keith Vrbicky.
Thank you, Kyle, and all the people responsible for putting on this wonderful event. May God bless you. I'd rather be delivering babies and talking about menopause than talking to you about this. But this is such a great cause, and I'd like to share what happened to me. Busy practice, moved to Norfolk from Omaha in 1983. Had 6 children and put them through college, and life was really good, starting to have grandchildren. Very busy, celebrating birthdays, celebrating anniversaries with my wife of 46 years. And the one morning of Labor Day, a weekend, I woke up feeling more tired than I usually am. I had been up delivering twins the day before, but more so. So I thought I had the flu. We're right in the middle of COVID. So I just kind of passed it off. But then that evening I lost my appetite, and that wasn't right for me. And I usually also go for a walk every day, ride my bike, do things to stay physically active. And my tolerance to these exercises that I do without thinking was not there. So I went to our local clinic thinking, hey, I've got COVID. They did a test. No, it was negative. Sent me home, did some blood work, and then told me to come back the next day. Kind of got worse overnight. Had to sleep with more pillows under my head. I knew something drastically was wrong. Still thinking I had a pneumonia, probably. So called a friend of mine who's an infectious disease doctor in Norfolk, and she asked me to come into the clinic, worked me up, did a chest x-ray, laboratory studies, and then sent me to the cardiologist. And thinking, well, she ruled out all infectious disease problems. So I went to our local cardiologist, and she did Doppler studies of my legs to look for blood clots. She did an echocardiogram of my heart. And she walked into the room to tell Karen and I the results of that, and told me that I was in severe heart failure. A normal ejection fraction of our heart is 50% or more. I was running 15%. Plus, I had clots in both of my ventricles of my heart, which means, I was a clot away from being released to my brain or to my lung, which would be deadly. So quickly got into the ICU, and they started medications for heart failure, and transferred me then eventually to the medical center here. And so the team here at the University of Nebraska Medical Center and the Heart Transplant Center is really a world-class organization. I hope none of you have to ever use them, but But if you do, or any friends or relatives of yours, they are number one in my opinion, as well as others. So they did a lot of testing, and I spent my 67th birthday in the hospital, and I received a pet, not a dog, a PET scan that morning. But my condition continued to deteriorate, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong, why my heart was failing. I wasn't responding to any medications. And then the day came that, telling my family that they don't think I'm going to survive without a heart transplant. The problem was, you have to be on a list for quite a while most of the time to have a heart transplant, right? So they were basically preparing them to tell them that, I was going to pass away probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. Well, so Karen went home to our relatives here in town, thinking that's God's will for me. About 12 hours later, though, in the middle of the night, she got a call from the med center and says, "We have great news. You have a perfect match for your husband." So that, for those of you in medicine, that event of getting a heart that fast, that's unknown. And so I know that through God's grace, his miracle came upon me. So indeed, 12 hours after that, I was in the operating room and with the team. And after 9 hours of surgery, I woke up and I'm sitting up, extubated in the intensive care unit and feeling good. And the nurses are so gracious. They said, "Doctor, everything went well. You look great. What can we get for you?" How about a Dr. Pepper? Well, the funny thing about that is that I didn't drink pop ever, and that was my beverage of choice, and it is my beverage of choice today. So after that, also they said, "Can we get you some music?" Hey, by the way, what a wonderful treat for the musicians here. I just finished a paper on music is medicine, and it really is. So ask me what genre of music I would enjoy listening to, because music helps us heal. And I said, please, country western music. And my family just about fell over. I wasn't a pop drinker, and I didn't listen to country music. So it was really obvious to me that we have somebody else's DNA in us, and for those reasons, I wanted to share with you the abruptness of this event, and also that during surgery in the recovery room, I asked the attending nurse also. I told her that I was so grateful for holding my hand during the operation. She said, "No one was holding your hand, doctor. Your hands are strapped to your side. There was no one holding your hand." I said, "Yes, there was somebody holding my hand. And I know that it was my guardian angel. And for them, I thank so much as well." So I recovered with over time my goal was to get back into my practice because I have 6 children, 2 sons and 4 daughters. And at the time we had 12 grandchildren. We had 2 on the way. We had my youngest daughter was going to get married a year from the date that I got transported to Omaha. And my wife reminded me, "Keith, you want to walk your daughter down the aisle, our final wedding." So all of that was going through my mind. My youngest son, Keith Jr., was finishing his residency in OBGYN, and our plan, our dream was always to practice together. So I had a lot of motivating things to, hey, I've been given a second chance, and I want to make the most of this second chance. And I have been able to have 2 more birthdays. I've been able to have another anniversary, 46 years with my lovely wife, Karen. I've been able to have 2 more grandchildren and another one on the way. And I've been able to start my practice, the practice of medicine, with my youngest son, Keith Jr., and we're having a blast together, doing that together. So I've been so blessed to be able to witness the power of the donors, and from the bottom of my new heart, and in respect for my donor and all the donors, so much gratitude goes toward you and your families. No one can put into words what that means to us as recipients. I read a book recently by Walter Green, and Walter's a writer over years. And Walter said, and I thought about this when I was laying there, that I, and probably dying, that there's so many people that I didn't say how much they meant to them, how much I loved them. I always push it off to the side, oh, I'll do that later. Well, Walter has now a national recognition of say it now. And say it now means, please tell your family, tell your friends how much they mean to you, and express your gratitude to them now. Don't wait, because as you saw in my case, things can change so quickly. And with those parting words, I'd like to say thank you so much for having me, and for all of you have done for us and will continue to do. God bless all of you.
Thank you again, Erin and Dr. Vrbicky, for those amazing stories and for sharing how donor heroes impact the lives of those around us. Live On Nebraska will be hosting a book signing event with Dr. Vrbicky the evening of June 16th. So not only is he an esteemed physician, he has also written a book about his story. So we'll be passing out more information about that at the end of today's event, and we hope you'll be able to join us on that date, June 16th. Now please direct your attention to the screens for our tribute to our donor heroes. is so difficult to go after that. Thank you for sharing your loved ones with us and for submitting those photos to honor their legacy. We are truly grateful for everything that you do. This officially concludes our program today. If you haven't already, please be sure to view the butterfly gallery. On your way out, our volunteers will be passing out cards with a QR code that will allow you to watch and share that tribute video again. I also want to thank our staff and volunteers who have helped make today's event possible, including a special thank you to our beverage servers. Among them are transplant recipients, a living donor, and also some donor family members. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. Please have a safe trip home. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you all.